a player signed during the week from Nunawading in the Victorian State League. He comes in and wears the number 16 shirt. Well, Preston have had a tremendous start to this season. They're currently top of the Southern Division, and they've yet to concede a goal in 5 matches. Their side, as one would expect, is unchanged from the side that downed Green Gully last week by 2-0. Charlie Egan, such a prolific goal scorer, only managed 1 so far in the league this season, and that was before our cameras on the opening day on that 1-0 win against Brunswick Juventus. And Gary Cole, player who scored 100 goals in the NSL, scored 1 this season, which brought his total 100. Such a prolific goal scorer over the years. He's back to his brilliant best. Alan Davidson, back in Australia this year after a year at Nottingham Forest. He's played in all positions, and in fact is South Melbourne's top goal scorer this season with 2 goals. Our referee today is Mr. Richard Lawrence, who's come down from Sydney for this clash. Richard, a regular in front of our cameras this season, school teacher, one of the youngest referees in the NSL, now one of the most proficient. So Peter Lomitz, one of the most underestimated goalkeepers in the NSL. Only conceded 3 this season. South Melbourne's problem is, though, they've only scored 3. So Preston, the red shirts, the black shorts, get us underway. They're kicking from right to left in the first half. Team who have played 450 minutes of soccer and have yet to concede a goal. But this is Conopicinas. This year, switch from a full-back role into more of a sweeping role. And now South Melbourne, who are desperate this afternoon for a win in front of their own fans. And away there by Steve Blair. Now Gary Cole. Fast start, Petrov giving that one away though. Steve Tassios forward, now Egan, now Middlemass. Player signed to partner Charlie Egan today and combining there with Egan well. Still Charlie Egan cutting this one back. Egan again. Shot was charged down, and the second one, it took a ricochet, cleared away there by Roodhouse. Now Davidson. Miranda with the shot, and that wasn't too far wide. Trinini's, the keeper there, was scrambling for a shot from that man from a good 35 yards out. And a good start this from South Melbourne. A good strike that from Richard Miranda, and curling just wide. So certainly a bright opening. Joining me this afternoon is former NSL coach, former Scottish professional player, Bobby McLaughlin. Bobby, good afternoon. And this promises to be quite an encounter.
It's quite exciting, good start there. The boy Middlemass, they showed he didn't have too many nerves. He slipped a lovely ball through to Charlie there. No, it's the makings of a good game.
Roodhouse on that far side. Stopped by the challenge from Postecoglou. Throw to Preston. Now Campbell. Ron Campbell, the player bought during the off-season from Western Australia. Certainly settled in well to this Preston side. And now McDowell. Miranda losing out. This is Gary Cole. Trying to find Graham Hayes. Stopped there by Russell. And this is Alan Davidson. Just chipping that one forward. Certainly conditions this afternoon not going to be easy for the players. A swirling wind here at Middle Park. Going to make it difficult for both sides. And now Opicinas. Zoran Ilioski. Such a creative player. Now Dobson. Joined Preston from Croydon back in 1984. Roodhouse. Opicinas. Way back to the young keeper, Trianides. Really has been in sparkling form this season. Ilioski. Sean Lane was the player slipping. Now Gary Cole. Trying to slide that one through. Easily intercepted though by Bobby Russell. And this is Graham Hayes. Still Hayes. Not afraid to take on players, Graham Hayes. A lot of experience, both here and overseas. And now Steve Tassios. Still Tassios, he's got 2 players ahead. Still Tassios, goes on his own. Gary Cole was the player coming back to tidy up. And then Ron Campbell all the way back to his keeper. Good run that though by that man, young Steve Tassios. Player signed just 3 weeks ago from Heidelberg. So Preston, no hurry. Roadhouse. And now Dobson. Opposinas. One easily cut out though by McDowell. Coglu trying to play that one in quickly. Dobson. Opposinas. Crash in there with Charlie Egan. Referee Richard Laurent steps in quickly. Tremendous rivalry between these two teams. South Melbourne, of course, coming into this match in 7th position, their lowest position in the NSL since mid-1983. Now Sean Lane. It's not like a good challenge from Gary McDowell. Gary McDowell, such a versatile player. This year playing as a sweeper and playing the role to perfection. So a throw on the far side to Preston. Looking for Lane. Way this time by Tassios. Cole, his shot charged down. Cole again, this time it's blocked. Now Miranda, hooked away there by Alan Davidson. Dobson, long one forward, all the way through to Peter Lometz. Good attacking play though by Preston there, they got players forward quickly. Gary Cole was denied twice. Now McDowell. Stevie Blair. Coglu. Davidson. Playing today as a midfield man. Has been pushed forward on a couple of occasions and managed to score some goals. Now Lane. Miranda in there first. Egan. Now Middlemast. Postacoglu. Danny Craney made a run on the far side and took a player with him. Now Davidson. This is Danny Craney. Craney again. Now Egan. Way there by Dobson. Good build up again by South Melbourne. Stopped in the end by that man Ian Dobson. Certainly it's nice to see both sides keeping the ball on the deck and trying to play constructive soccer. Opposinas in there first. Opposinas, who played for the Australian B team back in 1984 in the World Soccer Series as a fullback. Now Davidson. Alan Davidson trying to win a corner. Settle for a throw-in on the far side. So Richard Miranda, the long throw specialist, is the player who goes across to take this. The wind momentarily has dropped. Certainly meaning he'll be able to get some distance with this throw. Over the head there of Cole, a back header, the ball loose. Graham Hayes is the player that can clear for Preston. Now Smith playing it inside to Ron Campbell. Stopped there by McDowell. Trying to thread that one through to Charlie Egan. Now Smith. Cenas. Now Zoran Ilioski. Space ahead. Way to attack. Steve Blair reading that pass well and in there first. Tassios, stopped by Hayes. Now Smith. Hayes picking up the loose ball. And now Ilioski, and Preston have got players forward. Still Zoran Ilioski. Play that one back. And now this is Danny Craney. Egan's made a run forwards. Still Middlemaster's also made a run through the middle. It needed a much better ball than that. Campbell. Now Roodhouse. Roodhouse, a player, in fact, since he's been 14 years old, has been coached by Bill Murray, the current coach here at Preston. Bought him during the off-season from Box Hill. Roodhouse again, floating this one in. This is Lane. And now Petrov. Had three players in the middle, and it needed a much better cross from George Petrov. But certainly, Bobby, it's nice to see both sides with some good attacking ideas.
And a good start, both end, and there have been a couple of timely interventions at both end. Dobson, very important there, and McDowell at the other end there. Could have been 1-1 already.
So a goal kick for South Melbourne. Now Campbell. Ilioski just lifting that one forward, being caught there by the wind and taken all the way through to the keeper. Certainly the conditions are really going to be awkward for the players. This wind which comes up and stops, swirls. Now middle mast. Middle mast, spreading it wide, nobody made the run. Throw on the far side to Preston. Preston, who last won here back in 1984. They won by 2-1. Robbie Dunn was the scorer of that day, along with Soren Ilioski. Campbell there gets the free kick for obstruction. The linesman on the far side, initially given the free kick the other way. Referee Richard Lawrence was in there quickly. So a free kick for Preston. At the moment they seem to have lost the ball. Everybody's looking around in amazement, trying to find out where it's gone, including referee Richard Lawrence. Retrieve from behind that goal mouth. So pressure now for Peter Lometz. Gary McDowell organising his defenders. Smith and Lane and Gary Cole all ready to make a run through, and Ian Dobson's gone forward as well. So plenty of height in that South Melbourne penalty area. As Ron Campbell takes this free kick, floats it to the far post, away there by McDowell. Conceding the corner. Pause there. Steve Smith for that well-taken free kick. It certainly had South Melbourne under pressure. Away eventually by Gary McDowell for a corner. So again, Ron Campbell is the player who comes across to take it. The big men stay forward. So Campbell to swing this one in. Off the head there again, and McDowell. Now Gary Cole! Just over the top from Gary Cole. Cole came ghosting in and nobody picks him up. A really forceful header that was only just over the bar. Problems all started with this corner, taken by Ron Campbell. Not the best of clearances there from Gary McDowell, and Gary Cole, forceful header just over the top. So now Miranda. It's Bobby Russell. Tassios quickly closed down by Graham Hayes, and Hayes there playing that one into space. This is Steve Smith, and Smith there slips at the most inopportune time, and surely he should have done better. There was the opportunity, but a brilliantly laid on ball by Graham Hayes. South Melbourne there, lucky to escape. Their defence was asked some questions and failed to answer. A superb through ball from Graham Hayes. Steve Smith, who scored 3 goals this season, surely should have made it number 4. Now middle mast, giving that one away. This is Roodhouse. Now Craney, who joined South Melbourne just a couple of weeks ago. He's had experience at Blackpool, Celtic, Wolves and Dundee. Craney again, sending that one on. Postacoglu with a good run forward. Cutting this one back. Easily read and cut out by Konopousinas. Now Davidson. Craney. Postacoglu. Craney again. Now Tassios. Crowded out. Craney. Now Postacoglu. Looks so good going forward. Angelo Postecoglou. This one back, and a corner's given. Konopoulos was the player going across. Showing his defenders. A good run by that man, Angelo Postecoglou. So Danny Craney with this corner. Goes to the keeper, who comes and takes it confidently. Philip Trianides, only 20 years old. Confident goalkeeping there. There's Campbell. Searches out and finds Sean Lane. Lane! And Preston have scored! Sean Lane the scorer. And the goal coming after 14 minutes. Sean Lane, his third goal of the season. But it all started with some quick thinking from the keeper. A quick throw out. Eventually comes through to Sean Lane. The shot in fact took a ricochet, but past Peter Lomet, and 14 minutes gone in the first half. South Melbourne 0, Preston 1. Well, player Bobby has been switching from end to end. That was a good goal.
Kamikaze soccer. 2 against 2 there at the end, and it could have been the 4th goal Preston could have scored. That's the 4th. The marking at the back's terrible for Hellas just now, and they get caught there. 2 against 2.
Now Davidson. Alan Davidson chipping that one forward, away there by Roodhouse. Now Gary Cole holding that one down. Only his father is Bobby Russell. Miranda. Now Russell just failing to keep that one in. The ball was a good ball, in fact, for Richard Miranda. It was caught by the wind. It curled that one over the touchline and away for a throw-in. So let's throw to Preston. Double out. This is Tassios. That one through. Ilioski, the player there for Preston. Ball out of play again. A throw this time to South Melbourne. Steve Blair is starting to push more and more forward. Russell. Blair. Good challenge there with Sean Lane. Now Lane, now Graham Hayes. Miranda was the player in there first. The ball goes out of play. So a throw to Preston. Graham Hayes, who certainly has made his mark on this match. Some delightful through balls. Player with Newcastle and with West Adelaide. So his throw comes in from Petrov. Way there by McDowell. Now Alan Davidson. Davidson being pulled back. A free kick is given. McDowell. Well, we now have got players forward quickly. Postecoglou. Challenge from Gary Cole. Cole forward, picking out Sean Lane. Miranda, the player, chasing back. Miranda. Now Tassios. And now Alan Davidson. Opposite the player across, conceding the throw-in. Miranda, the long throw specialist, comes across to take this. Problems now for Philip Trianides. Now Davidson. It's possessed there by Alpecinas, away by Ilioski. Throw again to South Melbourne. This time taken by Bobby Russell. Now Egan. Russell. All the way through though to the keeper. Bobby Russell, such an experienced player for South Melbourne. Today playing his 92nd consecutive match. Hasn't missed a game in the NSL since he signed from Adelaide City. Now Roodhouse. Opposinas. Opposinas again. Now McDowell. Koglu. Still Koglu getting a good return pass, but giving it away there. This is Gary Cole trying to switch direction and pick out Graham Hayes. Davidson now for South Melbourne. Now Craney, closely marked. Davidson dispossessed. And now Steve Smith. Wide for Graham Hayes. Hayes, stopped by Russell. Blair giving that one straight to Graham Hayes. Lioski, now Dobson. Opposinas. Preston determined to keep control of this ball, not give it away. Now Cole. Campbell, trying to play that one down the byline. The ball out of play on the far side. Let's cross to the sideline.
Con Angelowski, Preston team manager. A dream start for you. However, 3 fairly clear-cut opportunities lost in the first half there. Are you 100% happy with the way the team are playing?
Sure, we certainly are. We're very happy with the boys. They've been playing exceptionally well. They're really playing like a team. As you can see, it's the type of game they've been playing the last 5 weeks, and Billy Murray's very excited at their form at the present time. But as it is, the game's very early. We're 1 up, and I think we'll do very well. We're playing as a team.
So at this early stage, you anticipate many more goals to come?
Well, I hope so. By the performance and the way the boys are playing as a team, we're very happy with them, yes.
Certainly the Preston officials should be happy with this performance so far. They lead by a 1-0 after 20 minutes of the first half. So Philip Trianides, young goalkeeper who of course, started to move off that led to the goal with some very quick thinking. Away that time by Steve Blair. So a throw to Preston. Now Roodhouse. That one was well read by McDowell, but he gets given the ball away. Now Lane. Now Smith. Smith there, stopped by Bobby Russell. Some desperate defending work there by South Melbourne. Bobby Russell comes away with it. Davidson. Seemed to be obstructed. The referee waved play on, and now Graham Hayes. Still Hayes against the bar. Good shot that from Graham Hayes. Now Gary Cole, and the header from Smith is just wide. Plenty of action around that South Melbourne goalmouth. Graham Hayes there denied by the woodwork. But a good build-up again by Preston. And again, Graham Hayes, so much involved. A good left-footed shot this, awkward angle against the crossbar and away. Still the danger wasn't cleared. So a let-off again for South Melbourne. Dobson. Now Middlemass. Tassios forward for Charlie Egan. Opposinas the player across. And now Ilioski. Again to Hayes. Missed that time by Sean Lane. Rainey. Stopped there by Ron Campbell. Dobson. Solid performer at the back and a long ball forward. Touched back there by McDowell all the way back to Lometz. So worrying times for John Margaritas there in the middle of the picture. So trailing by a 1-0. Just over the halfway point now of this first half. Now Egan. This is Tassios. Play again by Dobson. Only as far low as Egan. Throw this time goes to Preston. Charlie Egan has been well marked away in the opening couple of minutes, but really since that point on, has really been well shackled. Zoran Ilioski. Now Sean Lane. Russell. Force back. Now McDowell. Wing keeping that one in. Off the head there of Zoran Ilioski. And away for a throw-in. Tassios slipping. Gary Cole in there for Preston. Now Petrov. Sings has made a run forward. Still Petrov. Now Lane. Going to play that one in. Steve Tassios was the only player there. Davidson. Wind holding that ball up. And a mistake by the keeper. And Middlemass scores on his debut. A comedy of errors there. But a goal that was made by the wind. The ball was on its way through to the keeper and came to a stop. Trianides there was exposed. His clearance ricochets against the player and falls nicely now for Chris Middlemass, who scores on his debut for his new club. And 24 minutes gone, South Melbourne 1, Preston 1, and a smile on the face of the goal scorer. So Bobby, a bit of a comedy of errors there.
Yeah, well, I just got a feeling that maybe at the end of the day, Preston might regret the chances that they've missed. They've missed 4 excellent chances there, and then they got very complacent there. They started playing around there. I think it was Ian Roodhouse and the keeper left to each other. And well done Middlemass for persevering up the front there.
What a funny game soccer is. Preston have had the chances. The scoreline is now 1 each. Now Miranda, and it could just be the goal that South Melbourne wanted. Bring them back into this match. Their confidence must be at a very low ebb after some disappointing results. Davison trying to thread that one through, away that time by Roodhouse. Certainly the South Melbourne fans now have something to cheer about. They haven't had too much this season. Throw on the far side again to South Melbourne. All of a sudden, a spring in their feet. Chris Middlemass, the player signed during the week to partner Charlie Egan up front, has got his name on the score sheet. The South Melbourne now going to throw in. Taken by Miranda. Off the head there of Gary Cole. Still Cole. Now Campbell. Russell in there first. Now Charlie Egan. Russell's gone forward. Opposinas was the player across. But not the best of clearances. Straight to Charlie Egan. That came off of Zoran Ilioski. So a corner for South Melbourne. Charlie Egan telling his teammates exactly what he wants them to do. Danny Craney with this corner. Started being taken away from the goal by the wind. And the shot this time from Middlemass is over the top. This 28-year-old certainly settling into the higher class of football. Hit this one sweetly from the edge of the penalty area. It came to him very quickly. His shot was always rising. No real problems for the keeper. Now Campbell. Sean Lane was the player pushed in the back by Gary McDowell. So a free kick to Preston. Campbell, player who was the Western Australian Player of the Year last year. It's the player to take this free kick. Ian Dobson's gone forward. Away there by Russell. Petrov. And flicks over there. And just over the top from Sean Lane. Awkward bouncing ball for Sean Lane. Pushed it over the defender. Clearance there from Bobby Russell. Headed back in by Petrov. Off the head again of Russell. And Lane there lifts it over the keeper and also lifts it over the bar. So Sean Lane, ex of Derby County, joined Preston in the middle of '84. And now South Melbourne with Steve Tassios. Now Craney. Playing that one forward, nobody there for South Melbourne, tidied up by Zoran Ilioski. So Preston have conceded their first goal of the 1986 season. It took 474 minutes to come. I suppose the Preston players will say that when they did come, it was a gift. Now Zoran Ilioski. Opposinas. Now Lane. Losing out that time to Tassios. Davidson. Davidson, now Sean Lane. Hayes trying to play that one through for Petrov, who had made a good run forward. Tassios. Out there by Dobson. Petrov. Opposinas. This is Gary Cole. They play that one through quickly. The offside flag up against Steve Smith. The free kick again quickly taken. Certainly referee Richard Lawrence giving this game every chance to keep moving. The seniors there not taking any risk at the back. Throw for South Melbourne. So Richard Miranda, Australian international. A couple of matches last season for the Australian B team against China at the end of the 1985 season. Taking the throw, away there by Gary Cole. Miranda again. Floating this one in, curling away from the keeper, who does well. Certainly in these windy, swirly conditions. Really is difficult for goalkeepers. Now Dobson. Opposinas. Opposinas there away from Charlie Egan. And then dispossessed by Danny Craney. Now Must at middle mast. Preston defence, they're all at 6s and 7s. And away eventually by Gary Cole. Hayes upended. So Graham Hayes there, stopped by that man, Richard Miranda. Free kick to Preston. The Preston defence there got themselves in a lot of trouble. So Bobby McLaughlin, a few mistakes happening in both defences.
Well, Hellas must be loving it when Preston play around with it in defence, because he's given them a breather, and I feel if Preston really come forward, there's goals galore up here.
All out of play. It's a throw in. So a throw for South Melbourne. You ready, Tony? Now Davidson. Forward by Bobby Russell. Opposinas there first. Now Miranda. Good strong challenge by Ronnie Campbell. Craney. Now Postecoglou. Davidson. Davidson made a good run forward. Postecoglou came inside. Now Miranda picking out Alan Davidson. Floating this one in, the ball being held up there in the wind and away by Graham Hayes for a corner. So a corner for South Melbourne. Seem to be settling down a lot more now. There seems to be a lot more purpose about their soccer. The goal seems to have done their confidence a power of good. Problems now for that keeper. Danny Craney with the corner. Middle mass with a header. Davidson. Safely taken though by the keeper. Let's cross to the sidelines.
Socrates Nicolaitis, that's the first goal that Preston has conceded this season. You must be ecstatic, but does South Melbourne have the stamina to push on and capitalise on it?
Well, Chad, we've been working all week on pressure and doing the wall pass, and I think Chris showed today that if we keep on pressuring, we could score, and I'm pretty happy that we've scored against Preston, considering that they haven't conceded a goal all year.
So certainly there will be joy in that South Melbourne camp, and it was nearly doubled by that good run and a good shot there by Gary McDowell. Wasn't too far wide. But Bobby, it seems now that goal has certainly given South Melbourne a lot of confidence.
But I think that the Preston defenders are allowing the Hellas to come right into the game now, because they keep playing around with the ball. Look at this again. They nearly caught again.
Now Zoran Ilioski. South Melbourne defence, in fact, seems to have tightened up, Bobby.
Yeah, well, so they got off the hook. They get the breathing space that they needed, and while the back four of Preston play around, it's great for Hellas. And Hellas are right back in the game. It's a good game.
It certainly is. 35 minutes gone in this first half. South Melbourne 1, Preston 1. Now Gary Cole. Craney. Playing that one forward, looking for Charlie Egan. Roothouse, the player, tidying up. Now Zoran Ilioski. It's the return. Sean Lane. This is Steve Smith, the goal scorer, dispossessed there by a combination of Tassios and Davidson. Alan Davidson, who seems to be having a big influence now on this match. He's starting to dominate the midfield for South Melbourne. That'll be a good sign for his coach, John Margaritas. So Petrov with the throw. Way there by McDowell. Helped on his way by Bobby Russell. This is Ron Campbell. Now Gary Cole. Still Cole. Good cross in. And the header from Sean Lane puts Preston back in the lead. His second goal of the afternoon. His fourth of the season. And it came after 36 minutes. Sean Lane, but it all started with this tremendous cross with the outside of the foot from Gary Cole. Beat his player. Hit that one in. The header at the far post, back across the goal, and Sean Lane comes in, gives the keeper no chance. 36 minutes gone. South Melbourne 1, Preston 2. Sean Lane, his second goal of the afternoon. And South Melbourne, who had battled so much to get back into this match, have been punished at the back. So Lane again. Now Ronnie Campbell. Ball running away from him. Throw on the far side to South Melbourne. Well, Bobby, they say soccer's a funny game. Just when South Melbourne looked as if they could have taken over this match and dominated it, up come Preston with a goal.
How simple was it? This is where they should be playing the game in Hellas' half. I mean, straightforward, this win is worth 2 goals. The other way.
Now Smith. Needed a better ball forward from Steve Smith. But a good cross ball that to lead to the goal by Gary Cole.
Hit it exceptionally well, and again the defence was caught all at sea. There's a great who headed it back in. That was a great header back in.
I think it was Steve Smith.
Yeah, he got up very well. And this fella Lane's a good player. A great competitor.
So forward there by Konopousinas. Sean Lane causing problems up front. So Steve Blair. Postacoglu. Gary McDowell. Well, we've got to go back and start all over again. Egan, corners he played that one by Ian Dobson. Free kick for South Melbourne. Now Craney. Davidson. Now Craney. Postacoglu. Good challenge there by Ron Campbell. So a throw for South Melbourne. Just over 5 minutes to go to half-time. Davidson. Davison just failing to keep that one in. So a throw to Preston. So Ilioski. Now Dobson. Dobson. Ahead there, Postacoglu. Davison looking for the free kick. Nothing given. Now Petrov, stopped there by Miranda. Dobson. Now Ilioski, who's got a lot of space ahead. Hayes, putting that one in first time. Off the head there of Gary McDowell. Now Cole. Trying to spread it wide. This is Ronnie Campbell. Continue and enjoy Postacoglu, still Campbell. Stopped eventually by that challenge from Steve Blair. And now Danny Craney. Still Craney being allowed to run. Not afraid to take on this Preston defence. Still Danny Craney. Well, he's come from one penalty area to the other. Now being forced wide. Actually stopped there by Roodhouse. And now Campbell. Miranda picking up the loose ball, powering his way through. Still Richard Miranda, cutting this one across. Took a ricocheting away for a corner. Good powerful running though by Richard Miranda. International appearances for Australia back in 1984 in the World Soccer Series. And again last year for the B team against China. Such a powerful runner, signed during the off-season from Juventus. His place as we wait this corner to come across from Danny Craney. And some good safe goalkeeping. Chianides, a player a lot of people felt should have gone to Russia last year with the Australian youth squad. Only 20 years old. Made his debut last season. Long clearance with the wind at his back, right through to his opposite number, Peter Lomets. Now Davidson. To Steve Tassios. Off of Zoran Ilioski. Ball out of play. So a throw for South Melbourne. Alan Davison, the player who took a knock in that last challenge. Getting slowly to his feet. Davidson back okay. Throw to be taken by Bobby Russell. Now Tassios. Russell. Testing one for the keeper, who did well. Win that time, taking the ball away from the keeper. Trianides. The best of clearances. Headed on there by Gary Cole. Now Russell. Davidson. Now Gary Cole. Still Cole. Big, strong and powerful. Took two men to stop him. Free kick to Preston. Zoran Ilioski. Now Lane. Lair was in there first. Ilioski picking up that loose ball. Looking for Campbell on the far side. Postacoglu was the player there for South Melbourne. Just about 90 seconds to go to half-time. Miranda on the far side. Just failing to keep the ball in. Throw for Preston. So Bobby McLaughlin, I would think John Margaritas will be doing a lot of strong talking at the start of this, at the half-time break.
First of all, I think you need to get the marking up first. But I do think that the wind in the second half will help if they're prepared to have a go, have a few shots there. Because they've got to go for the win now.
So John Margaritas lights yet another cigarette. Certainly worrying times these for coaches. Side has had a couple of chances. They've been punished for a couple of defensive lapses. Postacoglu. Danny Craney. He's settled well into South Melbourne. It's only his second appearance. And Miranda. Craney. Miranda. Still Miranda. Trying the shot. In fact, a corner's given. It took a deflection. So Richard Miranda, a strong man in midfield for South Melbourne. And that shot then, which took a ricochet and went away for a corner. On our watch, we're playing stoppage time at the end of this first half. Danny Craney with the corner. Goalkeeper comes, doesn't get the touch. And the header from Steve Blair is over the top. A let off there for Preston. Goalkeeper came and committed himself and failed to get a touch. The chance fell to Steve Blair. Again, the problem was caused by the corner. Danny Craney gets this one across. The goalkeeper comes, fails to get a touch. And the header from Blair is over the top as the half-time whistle goes. The first half that has seen Preston take the lead after 14 minutes. South Melbourne got back on level terms after 24 minutes. Preston took the lead again through that man Sean Lane wearing the number 10 shirt, his second for the afternoon, the second goal coming after 36 minutes, which gives us a half-time scoreline here at Middle Park in Melbourne of South Melbourne 1, Preston 2. So that's the scene here at Middle Park in Melbourne. Let's cross now to Les Murray back in Sydney at Lambert Park.
Well, thank you, Michael. At Lambert Park, the score is 1-1 at half-time. It was Arno Batonia and Peter Eskopoulos who were the scorers. Earlier on, the new Polish signing, Janusz Baran, almost made his contribution by making a cross in the 15th minute, which almost led to a goal by Terry Butler. But that really was as much as we saw from him today on his debut. There was a savage brawl in the 17th minute, which started with a clash between Vicente Estavillo and Terry Butler, and one player, Jim Hristovski of Apia, got a yellow card as a result of that. Marshall Soper had a big chance to open the scoring in the 28th minute when he got free after he looked as though he might be offside. The referee said he was onside and he blasted the ball well over the bar. But it was Arno Batonia of Apia who opened the scoring after a corner in the 30th minute of play, and 3 minutes later Sydney Olympic replied with a good goal by Peter Eskopoulos after the ball had looked as though it had bounced off the back of Marshall Soper. Well, that's the score at half-time. We should see some more good football in the second half at Lambert Park, but the half-time score here is 1-1. We'll take a break now on Match of the Day and return with the second half of the match between South Melbourne and Preston in just a moment.
The ultimate football contest, the World Cup Soccer Finals, live via satellite from Mexico City, coming very soon to SBS.
There are times when you might kid yourself and pretend that it isn't real, that it's only an illusion and it's not your pain you feel. But this monumental effort and the sweat that you put in is a symbol of the ones who care. So let the race begin. It'll take a special effort to share this mighty load, to touch the hearts of nations down 1,000,000 miles of road. But with sheer determination, it's a race that we can win, 'cause we run with compassion. So let the race begin.
Every year, thousands of Australian athletes take drugs to improve their performance. But so far, only one has ever been caught on the international circuit. It's a heady cocktail of sport, drugs, politics and money, which keeps Australia just one step away from the high jump. That's Shooting for the Top. Close Up, Tuesday night, 7:30.
So welcome back to Middle Park as South Melbourne prepare to get the second half underway. Now kicking from right to left and with the assistance of quite a stiff breeze at their backs. So it'll be interesting to see what both coaches have said at half-time. One would expect that both would have said that both defences have got to tighten up and pick up men quicker. Would you agree with that, Bob?
It's a perfect stage. It's a brilliant game, and there's two things. Preston have got to watch that they don't get hemmed in with this stiff breeze, and then Hellas have got to watch them coming forward, they don't get caught in the break. And it's a perfect setting for, I'm sure there's a lot more goals to come.
So a throw on that far side to South Melbourne. Now Egan, way there by Uliowski. Uliowski again bringing it forward. And now Preston trying to break quickly, but stop that time. This is Davidson. Still Alan Davidson, trying a shot from a long way out. Charged down there by Ian Dobson. Tassios. Still Steve Tassios. Graham Hayes in there quickly. Let's cross now to the sideline.
Bill Murray, you had the lead, then you let them off the hook for about 10 minutes, then regained it. What are your instructions for the second half?
Well, Shard, I thought we were far the better team until they equalised, which was a bad goal from our defence. All I've said to the lads is to make sure we keep it tight and that we exploit any holes in their defence as they try to push forward. I think we've got the ability to do it. Their defence has been weak in the first half, so it's really up to us now to go on and exploit anything they give us.
Is this about the toughest battle you've had this season?
Well, it certainly is. It's been a hard game. Let no one make any mistakes about that. Hellas have come out fired up, ready to win, but I think we've shown our quality by the way we played, especially before we scored the first goal and after it. If they hadn't had that equaliser, which our defence, as I say, has to take the blame for, I think we'd have been 2 or 3 up at half-time.
So the thoughts there of Bill Murray, the Preston coach. And now his team have got to face this corner to be taken by Danny Craney. Throwing this one into the near post, the wind taking it into the side netting. So a good appraisal there by Bill Murray of the first half, Bobby.
Yeah, I suppose they were unfortunate. They never scored any other goals because there definitely were chances there. And no, it's very interesting just now.
Now Craney falls nicely for Charlie Egan. Being forced away though from the goal area. Still Charlie Egan keeping possession. Miranda still in turning, faced there by Gary Cole. Cole gets in there quickly and it comes off of Miranda. Throw goes to Preston. So Richard Miranda, who could have a big influence on this match in the second half with his forceful running from midfield. Melbourne will be looking for him to set up a lot of plays. Their two front men, this middle mass, and Charlie Egan. So Danny Craney, stopped by that man, George Petrov, 21 years old. So he's having a good 1986 season. Now Postecoglou. Petrov in there again first. Stopped though by Davidson. Postecoglou doing well to keep that in and winning the throw in. So a throw to South Melbourne. Opasinas. Dispossessed there by Craney. Now Charlie Egan. Saw the slightest of gaps, Charlie Egan, and tried to go through. Just couldn't keep it in play. Charlie Egan, such a deadly striker. Scorer of 64 goals in the NSL. Today making his 120th appearance. Average a goal every 2 games. And that's a good strike rate. Now Davidson. Through for Charlie Egan. Egan! Good goalkeeping. Traianides there denying Charlie Egan. But Egan there had the half chance, pounced on it so quickly. Good through ball this from Alan Davidson. Egan hit that one first time and well saved by the keeper. Now Roodhouse. Dobson. Rainey in there first. Now Ilioski. Dobson. South Melbourne now putting the Preston defenders under pressure at every opportunity. Rainey doing well to keep that one in. Stopped there by Ilioski. Throw on the far side to South Melbourne. Now Miranda. It'll be an awkward one this for the keeper, who takes it safely. Now Gary Cole. Long searching ball forward, looking for Steve Smith. And now Sean Lane. Lane there, tangling. Breaks nicely though for Gary Cole. Now Campbell. Down the player back to South Melbourne. The ball goes out of play. Corner is given. Gary McDowell doesn't agree with the decision. Expresses his dislike to the linesman. But a corner is given. So problems now for Peter Lometz. Campbell with the corner. Way there by Tassios, back helping his defence. Now Campbell again. It's there by Davidson. Still wrong, Campbell. Roodhouse. Petrov. Away by Russell. Petrov again. Looking for Hayes. McDowell was in there first. So a throw on that far side to Preston. Gary McDowell, Australian B international. Played in both matches against China last year. Ilioski, all being taken away from the danger area by the wind. Cole just hooking that one forward. All the way through to Peter Lometz. Gary Cole, who's been involved in so many of these big matches here at Middle Park in his days with Heidelberg. Cole again getting involved. Now middle mast. Craney. Cole was the player back. Gary Cole getting through a lot of work this afternoon for Preston. Now Davidson. Chipping that one forward. Egan just fractionally offside. There seems to be a lot more purpose about South Melbourne at the start of this second half, Bobby.
Egan's getting a fair amount of room. He's beginning to shake his marker. And I think if they hem them in here, if they keep them hemmed in there, we could get a goal. So much depends on Charlie Egan. He's a prolific goal scorer. Managed one so far this season. Now Russell. Hayes. Steve Smith playing that one inside. Away by Postecoglou. Now Dobson. Miranda. Richard Miranda. There's Charlie Egan now picking up there on the right. There by Conor Pasinas. Pasinas, who really has slotted into the sweeper's role so well. Early from a fullback. Such a good reader of the game. Miranda with the throw. Blair forward. Now Davidson. Away that time by Campbell. Miranda again. Trying the shot all along the ground. Safely though into the arms of the keeper. Richard Miranda, though, has got through a lot of work this afternoon. And now heading back to stop Graham Hayes. Preston trying to break quickly. This is Sean Lane. Still Lane. Good cross in. This is Steve Smith. 3-1. Steve Smith, his fourth goal of the season. But it was set up by Sean Lane. It all came from the fast break. Graham Hayes was involved. And those Preston fans start to celebrate. The goal coming 9 minutes into the second half. Sean Lane here did
did so well. Good measured cross and good finishing this time by Steve Smith. Climbed well, a looping header past the keeper. 9 minutes into the second half. South Melbourne 1, Preston 3 for Steve Smith, his 4th goal of the season. So South Melbourne, who started this second half looking as if they would take this Preston team apart, have been caught on the break and have been punished. So now Miranda. Craney. Away by Alpecinas. Now Cole. Trying to spread that one wide for Graham Hayes. Throw on the far side of South Melbourne. Funny game, this soccer, isn't it, Bobby?
The marking is just diabolical. Full credit to Lane there. Lane was magnificent. How he got a tight situation and swung a brilliant crossover. But how Smith could be allowed to be free.
3-1 to Preston. Still 35 minutes of this match left. I think you'd be a brave man who would bet I'm not seeing any more goals this afternoon. Certainly this good sized crowd at Middle Park have plenty of entertainment. It really is nice for our match of the day cameras to catch a few goals. 4 so far. Trianides. Kicking against the wind. It's out Ron Campbell. Woodhouse. Now Steve Smith. Campbell. Woodhouse. Away from that time. Pulled back that time by Gary McDowell. Free kick to Preston. So Ian Dobson. An opportunity again of planting this one forward. Now Lane. Still Lane battling away. Campbell. Trying to thread that one through. Well, stopped there by Danny Craney. Now Roodhouse. Alpecinas. Roodhouse. The offside flag up. Sean Lane. In fact, Steve Smith had made the run. It was the player caught. So a free kick for South Melbourne. Down, a wasted free kick, that straight to an opposition player. Now Smith, Cole, and now Sean Lane. Still Lane, trying to get that one in quickly again. Charged down by Gary McDowell. Davidson. Now Tassios. Egan. Davidson's made a run on the far side. Now Tassios. Needed better control, Steve Tassios. Ball goes out of play for a goal kick. Ian Roodhouse. Forward for Ronnie Campbell. Now Smith. He's failing to keep that one in. Steve Smith scored the 3rd goal. Who signed from Box Hill. And incidentally, he was coached by the current Preston coach, Bill Murray. Charlie Egan getting the free kick. Ron Campbell doing some pushing. So a free kick to South Melbourne. Now Steve Smith again. Forward for Lane. Such a lively customer up front, Sean Lane. Stopped that time though by Stevie Blair. Craney. Now Egan. Campbell. Steve Blair. Here's Alan Davidson. Running into space, nobody running now for South Melbourne. Ilioski. Throw goes to Preston on that far side. Petrov. Zoran Ilioski. Tied it up by Blair all the way back to Peter Lomets. Stevie Blair, the ex-international. 16 appearances for Australia at full international level. 16 at youth international level. One of the stars, of course, for Australia in 1981 in the World Youth Championship. Now Dobson. This is Danny Craney. Still Craney. Through for Charlie Egan. Egan with the shot. Touched away there by the keeper and away for a corner. Scrambling effort there by Charlie Egan, who saw the half chance. Turned so well. Danny Craney was the player slipping the ball through. Egan there got an awkward bounce. Turned quickly though. Took a deflection. Touched by the keeper and away for a corner. So Craney with the corner. Doing this one to the far post. And now Bobby Russell. Russell driving that one hard and low. Egan, the scramble there. 3-2, Steve Tassios the scorer. Steve Tassios, his first goal for his new club since he signed from Heidelberg. And 15 minutes into the second half, South Melbourne come back into this match. Steve Tassios the scorer. The cross was hard and low by Bobby Russell. A scramble there, Charlie Egan found to put it away. The ball came loose and Steve Tassios blasted that one into an empty net. Just on the hour mark, South Melbourne 2, Preston 3. Steve Tassios the scorer. And now those South Melbourne fans start to make some noise. So the ball out of play. Throw for South Melbourne. Now McDowell. Now Peter Lomets. Graham Hayes. Now Craney. Miranda. Sean Lane having quite a tussle there with McDowell. This is Hayes. Needed somebody wide. Petrov. Now Dobson. Preston now got plenty of players forward. And Graham Hayes has found space. Just hooking that one into the path of Sean Lane. Tied it up there by Gary McDowell. Let's cross to the sideline and talk to one of the South Melbourne stars who's not playing today, the injured Kenny Murphy.
You haven't played for the last 6 weeks because of injury, but you were there at the half-time briefing. What were the instructions to your team for the second half?
John told the lads to get the ball forward quicker, to keep it on the ground, to stop playing in the air because we're not that big up front. So that was in his instructions, but to keep it down, play it in the feet.
And how do you feel?
South Melbourne have scored through Danny Craney. Well, Kenny Murphy was just saying that John Margaritis wanted the ball played forward and he wanted it played on the ground. It was played on the ground to that man, Danny Craney. Only his second game for his club, and he scored. The goal coming after 18 minutes. 2 goals in the space of 3 minutes. Charlie Egan there playing that one into the path of Danny Craney. He went past one defender, hit it hard and low, gave the keeper no chance. 18 minutes into the second half. South Melbourne 3, Preston 3. And now Craney again. Forward for Charlie Egan. Still Egan. Now Craney. Miranda. South Melbourne now with plenty of players forward. Davidson. Now Craney. Miranda. Davidson. Miranda. Shot charge down. Craney. Intercepted there by Ron Campbell, and Preston can get it away. Smith. Having to hold the ball up. Nobody there. Now Craney. Off of Steve Smith. Throw goes to South Melbourne. So South Melbourne back on level terms. 2 goals in the space of 3 minutes. Richard Miranda with the throw. To Zoran Ilioski. So another throw to South Melbourne. Well, we were talking to Kenny Murphy when they scored their third goal. Let's cross to Kenny again on the sideline.
An unbelievable game, Kenny, 3-all. Do you think South Melbourne can pull it off?
Yeah, of course they can. Preston are playing really well, but Hellas are coming back into it. Preston look like a team in form, they're oozing confidence, and Hellas are the opposite. They look as though they're lacking a bit of confidence, but they're playing well enough. If they keep plugging away, they could get another goal here. It's good to see Hellas scoring so many goals. Preston's never let a goal in what, 6 games? Now they've let in 3, so why not 4?
Unbelievable.
So a smile there on the face of Kenny Murphy. His team have battled back. I'm sure John Margaritas would like to see Kenny Murphy back on the park. Now Zoran Ilioski. All the way back to his keeper. Well, Bobby, South Melbourne, 2 goals in 3 minutes.
Well, I think Kenny summed up there that it was a team without confidence, and of course they got that goal there and their confidence up. And this is what we said earlier. I couldn't understand why in the first half Preston played around at the back with the ball. I mean, the wind itself is definitely worth goals, and now we've got a real game in our hand.
So Charlie Egan. Now Cole. Way there by Postecoglou. Now Craney. Middle mast. Running that one into the path of Ange Postecoglou. Good run again by the young fullback. Brought down, there's got to be a penalty. Postecoglou is the pile up and a penalty is given. Richard Lorenz had absolutely no hesitation, but a good run by the young fullback. Postecoglou there went past defenders and was brought down by that man Ian Roodhouse. So South Melbourne now get a penalty. In back play, a player is down. Injured, that's Alan Davidson. But no doubt at all about that penalty. Replay of that. And testing time now. Philip Trianides, the Preston keeper, and Danny Craney, the player who's shaping up to take the penalty. They're having quite a chat on their own as Alan Davison receives treatment. So South Melbourne, who have had trouble themselves this season scoring goals, they've only managed 3 in their first 5 matches. Worrying times now for Bill Murray, seeing his side lead by 3 goals to 1, and now pulled back to 3-3. But if Bill Murray will be disappointed, certainly his opposite number, John Margaritas, will certainly be relieved, and he'll be even more relieved as this penalty goes in. South Melbourne fans celebrating. Somehow their Union Jack got into the celebrations. One's not quite sure about that. Alan Davison, though, back on his feet. So a penalty for South Melbourne. Coming after 23 minutes. Penalty to be taken by Danny Craney. He's already scored his first goal for his new club this afternoon when he brought South Melbourne back on level terms. Can he now put them ahead? Faced by the keeper and scores! Danny Craney scores from the penalty spot, and that's the biggest cheer of the season so far around Middle Park. South Melbourne take the lead. Danny Craney gets his second goal of the match, his second goal for his new club. The goalkeeper guessed right, but failed to keep it out. And 24 minutes now into the second half. South Melbourne 4, Preston 3. So what a turnaround in this match. Now Gary Cole. Sean Lane giving that one away to Miranda. Now Stevie Blair. Now Alan Davidson. The noise around Middle Park now is deafening. Throwing on the far side of South Melbourne. Preston starting to warm up, both their substitutes on the far side. Preston, who before this game today hadn't conceded a goal this season in the league, have now conceded 4. Preston now get a goal kick. Chris Middlemast, player signed during the week, who started South Melbourne's goal feast with a goal after 24 minutes to bring them back on level terms. Certainly he can be happy with his debut in the National Soccer League. Now Miranda, and now Charlie Egan in a lot of space. Still Egan. Into the penalty area, still Egan. Trying to play that back to Postecoglou. Now Danny Craney. Far post ball, looking for Zoran Ilioski. We've got the touch. Middlemass was the player coming in. And in fact, the referee has given a goal kick. South Melbourne fans celebrating on the far side. Now Russell. Middlemass. Trying to play that one through for Charlie Egan. Now Petrov. Away there by Ilioski. Sean Lane. 2 players now on a hat-trick. Sean Lane for Preston. Danny Craney for South Melbourne. South Melbourne have got a free kick. So Craney, Egan, Tassios, Craney again. Away this time by Graham Hayes. Handball, in fact, against Danny Craney. Well, I thought the referee gave the free kick to Preston for handball. In fact, he's given it the other way for the trip. Well, it's been an entertaining game this afternoon. A full marks to that referee, Richard Lorenz, who's given the game every chance to flow. Certainly, the players have responded with an end-to-end match. South Melbourne have taken the free kick quickly. Now Egan. Messina's turning quickly and tidying up. Just about 18 minutes left. Away there by Bobby Russell. Now Petrov. Brought down there by Miranda after he'd played the ball, and then Petrov rather sillily reacts and will get a yellow card. Well, Preston there had the advantage, and referee Richard Lorenz had seen the incident. Preston had the advantage and waved play on, and then George Petrov rather sillily reacted against Richard Miranda. Gets a yellow card for his trouble. First yellow card of the afternoon. Miranda there certainly had tripped George Petrov. Preston had the advantage. The referee waved play on, and Petrov reacted badly. Miranda now the player getting treatment. And I think Miranda is also getting booked for the initial challenge.
Steve's injured.
So still Richard Miranda getting treatment. Richard Lorenz, who's shown the yellow card to George Petrov, and then had a quiet word with him, telling him to keep it cool, keep it calm. Miranda really is the hard man, the driving force in midfield for this South Melbourne side, especially now with the absence of Kenny Murphy through injury. Melbourne fans certainly in good voice. Miranda back on his feet. So Preston, who had the advantage, have now lost it. The free kick has gone to South Melbourne. So McDowell forward looking for Davidson. Way there by Dobson. Now Miranda. Craney. Alan Davidson. Seemed to be obstructed there by Ian Dobson. Referee waves play on. Still Davidson. South Melbourne get the throw in. So Alan Davidson, who really has had a big influence from his midfield role this afternoon on this South Melbourne side. South Melbourne in no hurry to take this. So Miranda. Off the head there. The middle. Backward header, in fact. Opposinas. Directed ball forward. Opposinas, who now really has his hands full with a revitalised Charlie Egan. So Bobby Russell, skipper of South Melbourne. Davidson, shielding the ball so well. Russell. Now Craney. Roodhouse was the player in there quickly. Throw on the far side to South Melbourne. Bobby Russell. Now Cole. Forceful header there by McDowell. Dobson, the player back for Preston. So a throw on the far side to South Melbourne. Just about 13 minutes left. So Charlie Egan leaves the throw in to Richard Miranda. Egan there trying to get away from his marker. Got Opposinas. Miranda with the throw. Middle mast. Now Miranda. Way by Gary Cole. Helped on its way there by Graham Hayes. Steve Blair read that awkward bouncing ball so well. Roodhouse. Now Smith. Opposinas. Campbell. Opposinas. This kick by McDowell. The ball goes safely into touch for a throw-in. McDowell, who really has been a driving force this afternoon for this South Melbourne side. Really has been a battling, gutsy effort from South Melbourne. The team who really have been so down this season. They've battled their way into some sort of form. Now hold a 4-3 lead. And now Gary Cole. Stopped there by Richard Miranda. Middlemaster's made a good run through the middle. A timely interception there by Dobson. Now Egan, spreading it wide. This is Danny Craney. Still Craney, overrunning the ball. Roodhouse was the player there, and now Ronnie Campbell. Blair. Miranda. Ostacoglu. Craney. Ostacoglu. Craney. South Melbourne, they're getting a bit too clever. Campbell slips. Throw for South Melbourne. Petrov. Dobson it was. Player who was coming across. Shadow Steve Tassios. So Roodhouse. Steve Smith. Roodhouse again. Gary Cole. Stopped there by Steve Tassios. Now Miranda. He stopped and it falls nicely for Gary Cole. This is Sean Lane. Scorer of a couple of goals this afternoon. Trying the shot and away for a corner. So a corner to Preston, just over 10 minutes left. Sean Lane, the scorer of a couple of goals this afternoon. Also the player who laid on Preston's third. Taking his position in the middle of that 18-yard box as Ron Campbell prepares to take the corner and test this goalkeeper, Peter Lometz. Dobson. Way there by Miranda. Opposinas. Beaten to the ball that time by Middlemast. Offside flag up. So a free kick for South Melbourne, which will relieve the pressure. So 10 minutes left, Bobby. Any forecast on how this is going to finish?
Well, Danny Craney and Charlie Egan have run them riot. You know, they've run them ragged at the back there. But the thing is, if I was Sean Lane and I lost today, I'd have a few things to say in the dressing room, because he's been, for me, the man of the match.
Preston have got a free kick for that offside decision. Now Zoran Ilioski. Ilioski. It's a throw in, she takes quickly. Petrov. Now Gary Cole. Dobson. Pushing that one forward, looking for Lane. We pushed off the ball there by Gary McDowell. Roodhouse. Roodhouse stopped there by Bobby Russell. And a good ball forward. Charlie Egan there, just fractionally offside. Claws the ball forward by Bobby Russell. Roodhouse. Dobson. Sean Lane. Now Gary Cole. Good strong challenge by Gary McDowell. Ostacoglu. Now Craney. So a throw to South Melbourne with just about 8 minutes left. Ostacoglu. Throw goes to Preston. Charlie Egan with a big smile on his face. Such a winner, Charlie Egan. Now Dobson. Petrov giving that one away to Charlie Egan. Still Egan. Now Craney. Egan went for the return. Tied it up there by Zoran Ilioski. Charlie Egan, such a confident player, and a player who relies so much on confidence, and it all seems to have come back this afternoon. Still to get his name on the score sheet, but he's been so instrumental in this South Melbourne revival. Preston now wanting to make a substitution. So Graham Hayes is the player going off. Graham Hayes has had a good match, especially in the first half. He comes off. Mile Nichevsky is the player who comes on. Signed during the off-season from Yugoslavia. Today making his debut. So this free kick taken by Opposinas. Now McDowell, to the way the second time. Ilioski. Janichevsky. Good challenge by Andrew Postacoglu. Postacoglu, such a good strong left back, very much in the Graham Jennings role. Loves going forward. Certainly I'm sure he'll be one of the players that Franco Rock will be having a close look at. Preston with the throw. Way this time by McDowell. Another throw for Preston. Roodhouse. by Postecoglou. Now Ilioski. Blair. Sean Lane. Good skills there by the big striker. Ilioski. Doing well to keep that one in. Giving it straight though to Bobby Russell. Throw to Preston on that far side. Into the final 5 minutes. South Melbourne 4, Preston 3. So Petrov with the throw. Now Lane. Still Lane. Kowski trying to hit that one first time. Safely taken there by Lomitz. So John Margaritas with just a hint of a smile. It's been a worry in 1986. His charges this afternoon have come back to form and have scored 4 goals, and they currently lead with just about 4 minutes left. Now Dobson. Nikowski spreading it wide. This is Ron Campbell. Still Campbell cutting inside. Nikowski. It all breaks down, and now South Melbourne can break a 3-on-3 situation. This is Charlie Egan. Tassios has made a run through the middle. Miranda's tried to pick out Steve Tassios. Good running from the youngster, a good shot at the end of it, and a good save by the keeper. But Steve Tassios started that move deep inside his own half, and he was the player who got on the end of it. Good running here by the youngster, well spotted by Richard Miranda, and Tassios hit that one true and firm and safely taken by the keeper. Konopousinas floating that one in, looking for Sean Lane. Away by Gary McDowell. Roodhouse had come forward and made a run into the penalty area. He was dispossessed. Now Miranda. Postecoglou. Egan just fractionally offside, starting his run just a second too quickly. Urgency now about the play from Preston as they try to get the ball forward. Opousinas. Now Sean Lane. Opousinas. Lane. Now Roodhouse. Floating that one in towards the far post. This is Gary Cole. Steve Smith. And McDowell was in there to rescue South Melbourne. This is Middlemass. Got the throw in. South Melbourne in. No hurry to take this. Throw to South Melbourne. Just over 2 minutes left. Bobby Russell with the throw. Now Davidson. This is Danny Craney. All the way back to his keeper. Danny Craney, the scorer of a couple of goals this afternoon. Player with experience at Blackpool, at Celtic, at Wolves and at Dundee. This experience that's worrying that man, Bill Murray. The side coming into this match as the league leaders. Not conceding a goal in their first 5 matches, and they've conceded 4 this afternoon. Now Sean Lane. Campbell. Russell was there first. Campbell there battling well. Campbell with the cross. And Nikowski can't get on the end of it. So the ball out of play, a goal kick. Well, Bobby McLaughlin, it certainly has been a very entertaining 90 minutes.
Great game. Tremendous game. Preston have only got themselves to blame. We did say at half-time.
Preston Macedonia players celebrate at the end of their most memorable victory since coming into the National League, and it